Welcome to the Undivided Truth podcast, where we discuss basketball and wrestling, um, all things wrestling, all things basketball. As far as NBA goes, I don't discuss college, but um, maybe if I start getting into it, I'll start discussing that as well. But without further ado, we're going to get into this. So we're going to see like the top five in terms of like top five favorite uh, NBA players currently, and then top five, um, your top five all time. So in my top five, I have, um, I separate mine by position. So currently, I would say it's Derrick Rose, Kyrie Irving, Damian Lillard, Russell Westbrook, Stephen Curry, and then six would be Trae Young. So that's my top six right now. I got um, all time. I would say first is Kobe. Um, I don't I don't separate this by position. This is just anybody, any position. Second would be Shaq. Third would be Dwayne Wade. Then fourth would be AI, and then fifth is Charles Barkley. So that's my top five all time, like my favorite basketball players. Excuse me. Six would probably be um Reggie Miller, and then seventh would be definitely Carmelo Anthony, then Manu Ginobili, um, Kevin Garnett, actually Chris Webber, Kevin Garnett, Dirk Nowitzki. Yeah, so those are some of my favorite players. Um, Sometimes the order fluctuates because um, I honestly like have a top five just about for every position. So for power forward, first would definitely be Charles. Second um, would be Chris Webber. Third would be Dirk Nowitzki. Fourth would be Kevin Garnett. And then fifth would be Tim Duncan. So that's like my top five power forwards. And then small forward first, I have Carmelo Anthony. Second would be um, small forward is kind of tough to say like your top five four, but I would say Carmelo is definitely number one for me. Second is Scottie Pippen. Third would be probably LeBron. Fourth would be uh man, this is where it gets rough. Fourth would be small forwards. I'm gonna be honest, I probably don't know a lot of small forwards. I feel like if somebody like ranged up a name of small forwards, I'll probably be like, oh, probably that guy or this guy. But not a lot of small forwards I know and like. Because there's like currently I know a lot of small forwards because I've been watching basketball for quite a while. But yeah, so I'll be trying to see if anybody would see if I could bring out some names and I could like end up that list because right now I only got like three top favorite small forwards of all time. Um, you know what? Maybe Glenn Rice. Glenn Rice was a solid small forward, and I really respected his game. Um, it's kind of iffy because like shooting guard and small forward are like interchangeable. Like a lot of people who are like not big enough to play shooting guard ends up playing small forward, and they fluctuate between small forward and shooting guard a lot. Like people like Glenn Rice, people like Eddie Jones. Eddie Jones is one of my favorite shooting guards of all time. Um, He'd probably be like top 10 maybe, not top five because that list is hard to get into. Because I have people like first I got Kobe, of course. Second I got Dwayne Wade. Then I have AI. Then we got Manu Ginobili, and then we got Reggie Miller. So I mean, he just misses the cut of being in the top five for me, but he's still a great player. Um, and yeah, so in terms of that, like I would like to hear from you guys, like what type of favorite um players you like what are your top five all time, and then in terms of position, like where would you um what would be your top five for point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center. So just discussing that today. Um, and also we also have what's going on with wrestling. So apparently, like Indy Hartwell retained her title the other night. I just I didn't see the highlights, but I read the title of the video, the thumbnail. The title of the video read that she retained her title against Roxanne Perez and um, Tiffany Stratton, which I expected her to retain her title. It's just that I feel like, um, and this is what a lot of wrestlers nowadays like. Some people have like really weak finishers. So like I didn't know this about Indy Hartwell. Like I thought she had like a solid finisher. I didn't think like her finisher was like something as simple as a superplex, or or a clothesline to the back of the head. But like that seems to be her finisher. Which maybe if this was like 1980 and like people were like just or 1970 and people were just like getting into wrestling and they didn't know like what powerful moves are and people were like super jacked and they're doing clotheslines, maybe I'll be like, all right, yo, it's the clothesline as her finisher. That's really rad. That's cool. That's awesome. But in 2023, using a clothesline as your finisher, that's not going to get it done for me. And then Roxanne Perez has her finisher move named Pop Rocks, and that finisher is just as weak as a clothesline, in my opinion. Um, that's like if a Rey Mysterio were to use the Sunset Flip Power Bomb as his finisher. Like I don't think Rey Mysterio would be like ending anybody with that move. Now the 619, that's a great move. That's a great move. I think that move is believable to end some people, and not to mention like uh, under his under his tights, like Rey Mysterio wears a knee pad, so like that knee pad is really like the plus his knee is like hitting your face. That's like smashing your face. So I think that's a good enough finisher for Rey Mysterio. But like if he were to use the Flip Powerbomb, I'd be like, no, like that's not a way to end a match. Um, it's almost like you've seen like people like when people do like um a slingshot roll up, like when somebody gets trapped in the corner, right, and then they end up rolling them up for a pin. That's like the same thing. That's what Pop Rocks looks like to me, and I don't like the fact that it's that move. Like it looks like it has low impact. It doesn't look believable as a finisher. So that's why I feel like um, just about everybody in that match has like a weak finisher. Tiffany Stratton, to her credit, at least she has like a triple moonsault, and one moonsault is a little weak. But if you add three moonsaults and they're all three from different heights of the ropes, that adds a little bit more like emphasis to what you're doing, because then like the amount of impact and gravitational force you have to do with every moonsault, it adds more impact. So I think she has somewhat of a stronger finisher, but that finisher still, in comparison to like some of the main roster finishers, are weak. Like if you were to compare that to, I mean, they're women, but like if you were to compare that move to like the F5, like there's no comparison. It's not a strong finisher, and it doesn't look believable to me. And then if you were to compare it to a Crossroads or a Spear or something like Becky Lynch's finisher, the Disarmer, like that move looks like it hurts. Like it looks believable. Um, I always said this like about finishers. Like if somebody had like maybe a hammerlock guillotine, like you hold the person's hand behind their back and you're holding their head and you like trap them in a guillotine while holding their arm in the back and their head, that would be a believable finisher. Any man or woman, that would be believable to end the match. I'm waiting for somebody to use that finisher. If you use that finisher on anybody, I just want the credit for that. Like you don't have to pay me to use it or anything. Like I don't want any royalties. I just want like credit. Like this guy gave me the idea for this finisher. But definitely like just thinking about that, like finishers need to have meaning to them and be more powerful in wrestling nowadays. Because like just about anybody is coming up with like a finisher, and it doesn't even look like a finisher. Like even certain people, like they're trying to be turn them into top guys, like a Austin Theory. Like his finisher is even weak. Now his finisher, I probably take Tiffany Stratton's finisher over Austin Theory's finisher, and I'm not even like fronting or anything, like because I don't even like either of them, but like her finisher looks more effective than his finisher in comparison. But that's just the way I feel, and about certain finishers. I wanted to come on here and talk about that in terms of wrestling, um, and definitely wanted to talk about some basketball as well. Um, who I have winning the NBA championship, and then like uh, who I predict is going to win the MVP next year. Because this year, I think Joel Embiid definitely should win it. I don't think there's like even a question. Um, I feel like people really berate Jokic, not because like he is of a different uh color or whatever, but I think it's because like they think it's unfair that he was like a fifth seed or something and he's still winning MVP. I mean, Russell Westbrook, he won MVP as a sixth seed, but he did something that hasn't been done in over 50 plus years, and that's average a triple double. And then he did it back to back, and and then so I think he definitely earned to be MVP that year. With Jokic, just like his team was like a fifth seed, they're in a harder conference, and Joel Embiid, the other person who was considered for MVP, he was first in his conference. Yes, he's in a weaker conference, but he was undoubtedly supposed to be the best player that year. And there have been times where people have just put up ridiculous numbers and they don't end up getting MVP like Harden did in 2018, I think it was. They ended up giving the MVP to Giannis, and I don't even think Giannis was um, the top of. I don't think he was like first seed. I think he was like second or third seed in the East, while Harden was working his tail off to be close to a number one seed in the Western Conference, the harder conference. So I feel like it's not always clear cut. Like there needs to be like a development system. The only time where records shouldn't matter when a player is trying to get an award is Rookie of the Year. Because heading into Rookie of the Year, the top five picks, nine picks, like lottery picks or whatever, right? The top 13, 14 picks in the draft are not going to come into a winning situation. So you already know that you got to base it off of their production on their team, their value to their team, more than just their winning record or losing record. Now, years prior, people coming out of college, they were definitely NBA ready because they've most of the time they're like stayed in college for 3 or 4 years or whatever, so they come into the NBA ready. Like people like Shaq and like other players like that, they come in NBA ready. But um, that's like a once in a blue moon thing. Like people don't always come in here NBA ready, so that definitely you can't really gauge it off of that. You have to gauge it off of how their value to their team. Like, do they help? Does that person help that team win games? And without them, would they start to fall off in terms of their production? Like the team success, would their team success fall off without them? So I think that's the way they had to gauge it with Rookie of the Year. But MVP, you definitely had to be like a top three seed. You can't be like a fifth or sixth seed. And if you are, you had to do something memorable to validate the fact that you got MVP. And I think that's why people were up in arms at Jokic winning MVP because he didn't really do anything memorable um, in their eyes. But in terms of Joel Embiid, like you look at his point totals. I know points per game is not really something you should like clamor over, like being like, oh well, this person averages something points per game or whatever. Like you should clamor over it, but like averaging 33 points a game, that's a lot of points. Like only players like MJ have averaged 33 points in a regular season. Like that's a lot of points. Shaq on his best years could only average like 29 to 30. So Joel Embiid is somebody who could shoot, he could work in the post, he could shoot the mid range, he could defend, um, both at the perimeter and also in the post for mid range. Like there's nothing he can't do, and he could dunk. Like that's something that Jokic lacks. I mean, I hate to like rain on the parade of Jokic, but it's the facts. So like the only thing Jokic really does better than Embiid is passing, and um, I don't think I feel like passing you could always get better at, but that's the only redeeming quality that Head and Shoulders puts Joel Embiid below Jokic. It's his passing. Like Jokic is a gifted passer. It's almost like he was born to pass. And most European players are. I'm not trying to be like sound rude to European players, but like most European players are gifted at passing, like a Marc Gasol, a Pau Gasol, a Vitas Sabonis when he used to play, and then You got players now like the Sabonis and and then Paolo. So like so you could definitely see like both sides of the story, like in terms of passing, like um European players usually rule in it. So but yeah, that's what I feel about um that's what I feel about like the NBA right now, the landscape and everything. I think that the Lakers could close out. I think they play tonight. I think they could close it out against the Grizzlies. Um, did I think heading into? I'm a Lakers fan and a Heat fan, by the way, Miami Heat fan. In case I didn't say that before, but I'm reiterating it right now. Um, I think they could close out the series. Heading into the series, I obviously had faith in my team. Um, did I think the games would be close? Yes, I did. Because number one, John Morant is he doesn't he doesn't shy away when it comes to um, putting in the work to give his team a chance to win. So I saw game what was it game three where they came out flat, like completely flat, and the Lakers held them to 9 points in the first quarter. And John Morant maybe turned it over maybe like once or twice in that first quarter. And I saw him like struggling because like he had like tape on his hand or whatnot. But eventually I knew he would pull through, and he eventually did and got like 45 points and somehow gave his team a chance to win. So definitely you could see um, um, you could kind of see the deficiencies in the Lakers right now, and then you could see like the plus the pluses in them right now. Like they're a pretty solid defensive team. I heard that Anthony Davis is averaging 5 blocks a game in the series, which is great. I hope he improves on that, keeps doing what he's doing, um, and don't force any shots because like your shots are going to come to you. You just got to be patient with it and rely on your teammates. Definitely rely on your teammates because they're there to help you. Definitely. So now that would be like my solid advice for the Lakers, and I think they're already doing that, but just like to give them like added motivation to do what they want to do, what they need to do, and they're not. I know they're not going to be satisfied until they get a trophy, like in a ring. D'Lo, I could see he's hungry for a ring. Austin Reeves, I could tell he's really hungry for a ring, and I kind of feel like he would want if he got that ring, he would want to stick it to Pat Bev. But yeah, definitely. Austin Reeves is hungry for a ring. LeBron, enough said. Like you don't need to say anything. Like that man lives for the finals and and finals games and lives to win in the finals. He wants to win in the finals. Um, Anthony Davis. I'm not gonna lie. At the start of the season, I could see that he kind of he said he hasn't touched a basketball for a while before the season even started. So I was like he was kind of losing desire to play basketball. But now um I could see like Anthony Davis is like a person who he's like that type of person. If you don't really have a reason if you don't have a decent chance to win, he's not gonna give that much effort. But if you have a great chance to win or a solid enough chance to win, he's gonna give all the effort he can give. And you could see the difference between the beginning of the season when we really didn't have a solid squad around us because we had too many people who were ball dominant on our team, to now where we have people who could play off the ball, and you could see the flourishing and us flourishing, and definitely like the passing is more pristine now, like it's up to date, and the ball is moving around pretty quickly, and it's going to the right hands at the end of the shot clock, or before the end of the shot clock, so we could get solid shots, great shot selection. Excuse me. And yeah, definitely looking to see that game later on tonight. Right now it's about 3:26 in the afternoon, and just looking to prepare for that game. Also looking to prepare for the Golden State game. Golden State has yet to win at Sacramento, and Sacramento has yet to win at Golden State. But thing is, I believe this game tonight is going to be in Sacramento, and the Kings, I believe, will have like added motivation coming into this game to win, especially with the game coming down to a clutch shot in Golden State. After it didn't even look like they had somewhat of a chance to win that game, they somehow pulled through and almost still ended up almost beating Golden State at Golden State, which is pretty hard to do. As you could see, like throughout the season, Golden State has had a lot of wins at home. Um, Pretty much not a lot of teams could beat them at home, and that's usually when they play their best. So to come into that building and almost get a W is definitely something to be proud of. Like it just came down to a shot where I feel like they gave it to Harrison Barnes because he's a veteran. He's been in the league for a while. He knows Golden State. He's played for Golden State. He was on their championship team. He was also on their 73-9 team, who eventually lost to the finals against LeBron and Kyrie and the Cavs. Um, so um, I honestly would want somebody like Keegan Murray to probably take that shot. But maybe they thought that maybe if he would take that shot, there would have been added pressure on him to hit that shot, and he doesn't have the experience, or and I don't think he has like, not to uh sound slightish when I say this, but like I don't think he has like, I think he lacks the maturity like that it would take to um take that shot, and if he misses, go into the next game with the mentality like his mentality not to be defeated. Like he would go into the next game probably acting defeated because he missed that shot, and be thinking about it constantly, and not have like short term memory loss to just move to the next game. So maybe they didn't go with him with that because of that. But I definitely would have went with him. He's the record holder for rookies for 3-point shooting, and you need a 3-point shot, I believe, to tie it. So I think it was to tie it. So I would have definitely went with Keegan Murray, as long as he wasn't in foul trouble, because foul trouble is also, um, excuse me, plays a major role. It plays a major role, and if you could win games or if you could lose games. And that would definitely be like my thought process when it comes to everything like basketball related. Um, and yeah, so that's what I felt like. I felt like they should have definitely to use Keegan Murray to hit that shot. But the fact that they didn't, I don't think it like at all dampens the season that they had. Excuse me. Because honestly, win, lose, or draw, um, the Kings already accomplished a lot this season. Just making it to the playoffs, number one, and then like competing against the Golden State Warriors, who are a championship team. I mean, you could say like, well, their head coach used to be the assistant coach for the Golden State Warriors, so he knows somewhat about um like how Draymond ticks, what Steph's mentality to games are, and how Clay approaches the game as well, and probably Andrew Wiggins as well, but like in Jordan Poole, but like that doesn't always give you a know-how on how to basically pick out and uh pick up on everything that they do. Uh, maybe not in basketball, but football, it probably definitely would work out that way. Like if you were to have like a head coach and then the next year the head coach is on a different team, you definitely would have an advantage that way in football. In basketball, there's too much there's too many X's and O's. Like you could always change up your plays. You could do that in football too, but like 9 times out of 10, like you can't really do that in football because football is such a shortened season. It's only 16 weeks, and then you have the playoffs, obviously, which is a little longer. So you're technically only playing like 20 games a year, as opposed to an NBA season where you have 82 games. So in an 82 games season, like you could change up a lot of things about your team. 16 games plus the extra four that you're probably gonna play in the playoffs if you make it that far is definitely not enough time to change up your playbook for the most part. So definitely something uh, that I've been thinking about as far as like why the Kings. I think the Kings' successes are more geared toward the great coach they have because everybody seems to forget that Mike Brown was actually a really good coach before he ended up becoming the Kings coach. He was also the Cavaliers coach, so he's coached LeBron. He's also coached, and then he became the assistant coach for the Warriors. So like, so he definitely has a resume. He has won like 60 plus games. I mean, it was with the Cavs that he was the head coach, which is in a weaker conference, but he has expertise when it comes to basketball. Like he has that basketball knowledge, and then he knows how to get the most out of people's strengths and how to take out their weaknesses so you don't really see their weaknesses. And I've observed that in like the way he coaches, the way he used to coach the Cavs, and now how he's coaching the Kings. I observed all of that. So definitely knowing how to get the most out of your team, the potential out of your team so you could have opportunities to win is definitely like commendable. But I'm waiting to hear from you guys. Like, what are your favorite players? Who do you enjoy watching? Who your Matter of fact, let's do that too. Who are your top five players to watch? Your top five players to watch. Your top five all time, and then your top five by position. You can either leave it in the chat or you could leave it in the comments, and I'll come around and check it out later or something. But for the most part, I think I might get out of here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, a comment, and definitely subscribe to my channel as we're growing. We're almost at 90 subscribers. We're trying to get to 100 um, by May. By May, like the first week of May. Um, and just remember health and prosperity, peace and tranquility. Just remember those four things, and everything will be splendid. Also remember, be a catcher, not a follower. Plus, be patient, stay focused. And remember, you are the leader of your world. However you lead in your world is how it's going to play out for you, whether good or bad. Just remember that. And also remember to have fun and enjoy life. And with that, I'm going to head out of here. But protocol, let's rise together.